So, man, we finna do this segment right here, man. So the case against Maduro, it falls apart. Trump administration, major confessions. You feel me? So that man gonna get let, him and his wife finna get let go and possibly go back over there to his country, get released back to his country. All them people was on there. You never know, bro. Don't never speak too soon, bro. I pray for the people over there. I pray for whatever they've been going through over there. But the man probably gonna get out, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad, man. Y'all leaving a comment, bro. They saying like what they saying what this dude did was a terrorist act, bro. They called him a terrorist. He American. They called it. That's what they called. I looked at another segment, but what this segment is, I ain't even really watched it. I just seen little clips of it, but we gonna watch this together. You know what I'm saying? We finna watch this segment together. And this guy is a reporter, Jonta K reporter. That's what his name is. And this is new content. 7 hours. Jonta K reporter. Janta Janta reporter. And it's 7 hours ago he released this. But so we're gonna watch this together. But man, they saying a lot about this Trump. This was unlawful. This was unconstitutional. I guess going to a certain country to arrest their higher authority or their leader, that's kind of like, you know what I mean? I guess that's some like kind of immunity thing where, like he couldn't go to jail. It's some type of immunity thing where that's what the dude was saying too. Like you gotta negotiate. You gotta deal with the negotiation the correct way. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case of the matter is. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get into this, man. We gonna get into this.
Each day, Donald Trump's fake charges against Nicolas Maduro are getting exposed. Not that anyone ever doubted that Trump had illegally invaded Venezuela on bogus charges. The charges that he made accusing Nicolas Maduro of running a non-existent drug cartel. But it's now become official. It has finally confirmed that we were all right in our suspicion against the rogue regime of Donald Trump. Yesterday, these bunch of depraved thugs presented Maduro at a local court in New York before heaping more humiliation on him by parading him on the streets of the city.
Wow. Ooh.
These thugs, and human devils to be precise, can go to any extent to humiliate fellow humans. We've seen their true colors in Gaza. So no, I wasn't surprised seeing this visual from New York. But what's astonishing is that the Trump administration has now spectacularly confessed to its crime of using fake charges against Nicolas Maduro.
Wow.
Don't take my word for it. This is what pro-Israeli and therefore pro-Zionist American New York Times has reported. Read the headline by the New York Times. It says, Justice Department drops claim that Venezuela's Cartel de los Soles is an actual group. When you read the details of this extraordinary confession, you will get a better understanding of the criminal action of these thugs. The New York Times reported that the new indictment of Maduro and others on charges related to drug trafficking omitted a crucial element of the original charges. The criminal organization that Maduro supposedly ran, according to Trump and his fellow criminals, was called Cartel de los Soles. But what is Cartel de los Soles? You would be shocked to learn that this organization never exists. It never existed. Trump and his criminal colleagues in the rogue regime of the US used this fictitious term to malign a head of state. before kidnapping him with his wife. The original indictment filed against Maduro in March 2020 in the Southern District of New York has said that the kidnapped Venezuelan president was the head of Cartel de los Soles, which according to the US claims was a drug trafficking organization comprised of high-ranking officials that operated between 1999 and 2020. But as it emerged, Cartel de los Soles isn't a real organization at all. It's a slang term invented by the Venezuelan media to describe corruption. This was like someone accusing Trump of being the head of a mafia organization called Trumpism, and then using this pretext to kidnap him and his wife after bombing Washington and killing scores of people. Just see the level of absurdity of these clowns that the US State Department, run by thug Marco Rubio, even designated Cartel de los Soles as a terrorist organization.
Wow.
As recently as in November. Congratulations, my dear American friends, for electing a bunch of murderous and illiterate clowns as your rulers. Then Trump today boasted about killing many people in Caracas during the illegal invasion of Venezuela and kidnapping of Maduro and his wife.
You know, people are saying it goes down with one of the most incredible. It was so complex. 152 airplanes, many. Talk about boots on the ground. We had a lot of boots on the ground. But it was amazing. And think of it, nobody was killed. And on the other side, a lot of people were killed. Unfortunately, I say that, soldiers. Cubans.
You disrupting people's lives and you describing it as amazing.
They were coming and they were protected and our guys weren't. You know, our guys are jumping out of helicopters and protected, and they were, but it was so brilliant. The electricity for almost the entire country was boom, turned off. That's when they knew there was a problem. There was no electricity. Caracas, there's no electricity. It's not the only people with lights were the people that had candles. It was just off. So we sort of got them a little by surprise, but it was brilliant tactically. It was an incredible thing.
A deranged sadist in desperate need of treatment. And this is what the UK government, led by Keir Starmer, is supporting. This so-called human rights lawyer has refused to describe the US action as a breach of international law. Yesterday, he refused to turn up in Parliament and instead sent his pro-Israeli Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper. As expected, she was hung, drawn, and quartered by the opposition and her own MPs. Here are some examples.
If a large and powerful country abducts the leader of another, however abhorrent that leader is, and then tries to intimidate the smaller country in order, it says itself, to gain access to its resources, doesn't the Foreign Secretary agree that this should be called out? Not just by Britain, but by our Western allies, who should be calling it out for what it is, a breach of international law. It is not for the country that is breaking the law to say whether or not it has broken the law. It is for the West, surely, to stand up and say, call it as it is.
It was the Prime Minister that decided to disregard the United Nations Charter when it came to Trump's bombing, killing and kidnapping of a head of state. I think it speaks volumes that the Prime Minister has chosen not to come to this House to explain his decision. The reality is this: if it were Putin doing this, the Prime Minister would not be saying, oh, it's up to the Russians to decide.
We are witnessing an existential threat to the international rules-based order, and the Prime Minister can't even rouse himself to give it even the meekest of defences. France, Spain, Brazil, Mexico and the UN Secretary General have all been clear that the Trump administration has violated international law. When will the Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary find their voices and join that chorus of condemnation?
During that attack, the Venezuelan president and his wife were abducted from their home and taken to the US on bogus drug-related charges. The Labour government is now refusing to assess whether this is legal. So I asked the Secretary of State this: if a foreign power accused the British Prime Minister of breaking its domestic law, bombed targets in the UK, killed dozens of British citizens and abducted the Prime Minister and his wife in the middle of the night, would the government be able to say that was legal? Or is international law only something that applies when Donald Trump says it can? And in that case, is the Prime Minister and this Labour government anything more than Donald Trump's poodle?
You can watch the entire debate, which runs for over 2 hours here. This was always
Watch his channel, y'all.
rightly admitted by
You want
the
more of this
representative
content?
of
Watch
the
his
United
channel,
Nations
man.
Security Council yesterday.
Y'all see what they talking about. Y'all see what's going on. Now they saying that the charges that they got against Trump are weak. The charge they got against the man is straight weak, man. Them charges, it's sad, bro. You understand me? They got all this commotion going on. But the thing of it is, though, Trump, you sat up there and plotted. You and your men, you set your men over there. Y'all probably was over there on some peace like humanity, because I'm quite sure they knew y'all was in their backyard. Somebody had to know that y'all was in their backyard. Before y'all even came, whoever the scouts was or something over there to present this evidence over here to them, they had to know y'all was in their backyard, bro. So, but how y'all done that on the sneak tactic, and wasn't nobody really aware of what's really going on, because y'all shut all the lights off, y'all shut all the power out. That's no communication. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. They saying it's a kidnapping. That's what they saying. Like, they basically cause what you done wasn't really authorized. It wasn't proper. It wasn't in good. Basically, it wasn't in good faith. Basically, what they saying, it wasn't really in good faith. And they saying the evidence. You heard what the gentleman said, bro. You know, my take on it though is just crazy, bro. Because in everything you saying, he just wanna. Now that you took the man in jail, you feel like you entitled to the oil. You already counting the money. You already done spent the money. You spent the money before you even got it. You spending the money before you even got it. Talking about what you gonna sell or what you gonna do with this and where you gonna send it to and who you know how to sell it, y'all, cause we this and this and that. That's all you worried about, bro. You ain't worried about the man. That's what you want them to focus on. But now you finna send the troops over there. You finna send some of our army troops that's supposed to protect America over there, and some of them possibly can lose their lives behind something that's unrighteousness. Something that's not right. You know what I'm saying? You know. You don't know what's going on in their country. You know what I mean? You ain't over there in their country. You listen to what other people telling you or going by. Now you messing with the other guy's country. That other guy, he's straight gangster. I seen it. I seen the guy Willie D. I seen his feedback on the way that other dude said come over there and get me or whatever the case is, come get me. He ain't playing. That means somebody's going to be unalive. Bottom line, he warned you. Somebody's going to be unalive. You know what I'm saying? And then you got these other companies. It could be... I'm kind of watching some of this content creator. I'm looking at for real people because some of this stuff, which I look, some of it AI. Some of this stuff is AI. And they got one channel that's breaking it down to you and telling you about some of the stuff that's online where they talking about the jets is this jet did. They letting you know. I just saw on the channel where they saying, no, that jet ain't gonna take off. It ain't gonna do it like that. This don't do that. Woo, woo. That's AI. So some of the propaganda or some of the feedback or the reactions that people saying, some of it could be AI. You know what I mean? But the truth can't lie. Facts is facts. Facts is facts. Ain't no way of getting around no facts. You know what I'm saying? You see it for yourself. You know, but you gotta have your own judgment and judge it how you see it. You know what I mean? Should he be held accountable for his actions? You know? You got in this office to protect the people, man, but you doing all type of stuff. You got to look at it too. Trump ain't never really made no name. I tell you, he ain't made no name for himself. Everybody done got, and they wasn't doing no, just like Obama. Obama watched, they got Obama watched. When Obama was in there, that's when they got Osama bin Laden. the other presidents, the one of them got the Saddam Hussein, different president. Now he over here, he making a mark. He want to make his name a president, like, you know what I mean? He gonna show his gangsterism before he get out the office. He's showing his gangsterism. He know this his last 4 years. He gonna do everything in his power to do certain stuff he want to. You know what I mean? And then the Surgeon General, the head general of the army, you know, I wonder what's his take. I remember Colin Powell, but I wonder what's his take on this. Cause just cause he the president, he can give an order, but it's still the chain of command, man. You know what I mean? It still got to be approved by this. You know what I mean? It still got to be proved, man. But that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. The man might walk away. The man might walk away. Him and his wife might just walk away, bro. I'm just telling you. And then he's saying one thing or whatever, but in that justice system, y'all ain't got no proper case on this man. But I guess y'all don't come get no man. Man, you innocent until proven guilty. I'm not in it. I'm just speaking on what I see. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I do worry about my people in my country. So, you know what I mean? It can go both ways. You know what I mean? You start a war, one of my people could die. You know, you start, you know, for falsely. You know what I mean? We don't need a war. We don't need all that, bro. A lot of us, man, we want to just live life. Everybody, even the people over there you bomb, mess with them, they want to live life. I could see, it's like some of them is going through some things. Help them. Help the people that need help over there. You know what I mean? You know, in that case, you know what I'm saying? But you saying that you want access to the oil so you can run the country. You want access to the oil so you can take care, make sure the country is run right. You need access to everything so you can make sure the country is run right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't America be sending money over there to make sure it's run right, but you want to control them man assets and lock him up and disclaim his authority. You know what I mean? Knock him off his throne. He not no president. He not no nobody. He not nothing. And you going to point somebody else over there that you want to point so you maybe can have a rapport with them. How long you think that's going to last? From what I looked at in videos on here, like, they people stand down, though. They government over there still team Maduro. They still team Maduro. Y'all leave in the comment what y'all think, man. You know, I ain't gonna say too much, man. I don't want to be too controversial, man. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? But we all got to be mindful, bro. You know what I'm saying? We all got to pay attention. That's the main thing. This is awareness. You know what I mean? I done put everything down, man. I'm still doing what I do, but I'm focusing on what's going on in this world. And I'm bringing it to you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Like I say, go to that guy. Go to the guy page. I said it in the video. You know, reported it. You know, I said his name and everything in the video. Go to his page and check him out if you want to watch the rest of the segment.